I'm Lee Spencer with the RacinBoys, and I have the opportunity to talk to the hottest driver in NASCAR right now, Alex Bowman. 3 weeks ago, you were 21st in the points. Two second place finishes, you're 13th. How does that make you feel at this point in the season?
Yeah, well, we shouldn't have been 21st in points to begin with. You know, we needed to be a lot higher than that. So, we're just running how we should run now in my eyes, and I think it's a big confidence booster for this team, and we're all trying to stay really positive and just keep the momentum rolling. So we needed it, but, glad we're headed in the right direction.
I had to laugh because you almost had a Tyler Reddick-type moment at the rain delay last Sunday at Dover. And for, I guess, no better sense of a term, I got cock-blocked by Jamie Little because I was getting ready to interview you. And, of course, TV takes precedence. And so, I moved aside, let her get her interview with you, and caught up with you a little bit later. But at times, being at an organization like this, do you feel like you're overlooked, or is there other places within the sport that some guys seem to get all the attention, whether it's warranted or not?
Well, I just feel like we haven't been really running well enough to get a lot of attention. So over the last 2 weeks, I'm glad to kind of change that. And I'm not an attention seeker. I don't necessarily want to be – I don't care if I'm popular or famous or well-liked. I just want to go win races. That's really all I care about. So, if we don't get any attention, we don't get any attention, but I want to make sure we're running well enough to get that attention.
Well, you seem to have found that. I heard an interview with Jeff Anders on Sirius Friday morning, and he basically said Texas showed your Hendrick team some indications that they were going in the right direction. Do you get that sense now that you're at Kansas? I understand you guys haven't been on the track. You don't know what your car is going to feel like. But do you sort of have a renewed confidence coming in here because of what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think so. I think Texas was obviously a really good week for us. I think these high mechanical grip racetracks are pretty good for Hendrick Motorsports. We just seem to run better at places like this. So I'm looking forward to it. I think Texas, we changed some stuff and ran really well, and obviously we were in a backup car and didn't run that well, but our teammates ran really well, which was really encouraging. And I think a lot of that will still be realistic here and effective here.
And how's your relationship with your crew chief, Greg Ives, coming about? Is this a week where you refer to him as Greg or Gregory?
He's always Gregory. No, I think our relationship's really good. We kind of got off base of what we thought each other wanted there for a couple weeks, and glad we're kind of back on track and locked in and know what we expect of each other and what we want out of each other. So, we're all working hard. We're all in this together, but I think Greg and I are working really well together right now.
I get the feeling that he appreciates you have a very analytical tone during practice, and I really think that Greg appreciates hearing that out of you because it gives him a better baseline as to what you really need to feel in the car.
Yeah, I think I just try to give him the most information I can and give the best feedback I can. I think somebody was asking me last night about what really makes a good race car driver good, and it's all feel-based and how you verbalize that feel and give your crew chief the information that he needs to get the race car kind of in the box you need it in. So I just try to do the best job I can at that. It's not always easy. Sometimes the car's doing 6 different things, and it's hard to describe and hard to pick one that we really need to work on, but I think we've been doing a good job of it here lately.
You were gracious enough to talk to me in the rain at Dover, so I appreciate that. You were off to watch Game of Thrones. There was a little controversy last week about, I guess, a Starbucks cup showing up on one of the tables, which is, some gripper, best boy should be fired from that set for that. Or do you think that it was kind of snuck in there to get a little bump for the coffee industry?
I think that's a good example of what's wrong with us these days. We're trying to watch a TV show to enjoy it, and then we're mad that somebody left a coffee cup on a table in the background. Like, come on now, just enjoy the TV show. But no, I didn't even notice it. I didn't see it until Twitter. I think there's 2 episodes left of the whole thing. I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is.
What do you expect the outcome? Have you been looking for spoilers? Are you that into it that you kind of want to find out how Game of Thrones is going to wrap up?
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one. So I kind of came late to the party. I binge watched all the other seasons probably a year ago, and then have gotten started on this season. So I haven't really thought about how it's going to end. I don't want to get caught up in wanting one thing. Aside from who's it, Cersei, the queen lady, I really don't like her. So bad things can happen over there in King's Landing, and I'd be good with it. But I don't know. I get really attached to the dragons. Like I don't know. The dragons dying was emotionally painful, but other than that, I don't know. I'm just watching it to enjoy it.
Some comedian made a joke, and he took the dragon and slapped a bunch of stickers on it and said, now it almost looks like a NASCAR. I thought that was, kind of close to home. But you also told me Josh Wise gave you a book to read and kind of focusing on the mental aspect of sports in general. And can you tell me what the name of that book is and what your early takeaways are?
Yeah, so it's not even really about sports. It's kind of just how the brain works and how the brain emits energy and what that energy can and can't do. So I think it's called Mind to Matter. It's pretty interesting. I think some of it's applicable and some of it's not, but it's for me, it was really easy to get down over the first part of the season, and I think kind of without Josh's help, I probably wouldn't have been able to kind of reset as well as I did after the off weekend. So, it's been a really tough start to the year mentally for me, and I think just trying to stay more positive and do the best job I can.
You talked about the off weekend. You say you finally got to work a little bit on the dirt cars. I know it's a long way until January when you're going to roll out the Chili Bowl midgets, but where do you see yourself as far as the development of the chassis? I know you wanted to have a chassis. You wanted to have duplicate chassis. I know you had one chassis for you and one chassis for your driver. Where do you stand as far as 2 chassis and building those cars right now?
Yeah, so we've got new cars done, or a new car done, so that'll be good. They're both the same, so basically what CJ ran this year. So that should be good. That thing was different for sure than the car that we've been running the last couple of years. We had 2 completely different setups in the 2 cars, and just reacted a lot differently, but was really fast the whole time. So I'm looking forward to that. We're changing that one a little bit, going back. Just had some things that were pretty far off base on that thing and kind of just different that we're going to get more normal on. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be like, why the heck did we do this? But, that's a tough place. I feel like we were as good as anybody. We were probably the fastest car on our prelim night. We just started pretty far back. Because of our pill draw, we weren't able to get a lot of passing points. So, running third on our prelim night with a lot of cautions and not able to really make passes. Every time we made a pass, a caution came out and we got put back. But 30-lap feature to 30-lap feature anywhere, I think we can go and run with anybody. But that 55-lap feature on Saturday night is really interesting, and just how much the racetrack changes. And Keith's cars start good and end good. They don't start super tight and then be good at the end. They don't start really good and end really free. They just stay really good, all features. So we've got some work to do to try to figure that out. I felt like we had to start way too tight, and then we still ended too free. So we just need to get a little happier over that broad of track conditions. And, we had 2 of our shock adjusters broke, but Keith's cars, I talked to Bell, he doesn't even touch a shock adjuster, so we can't even blame that. But we got some work to do for sure to catch up to those guys on Saturday night, but I think the rest of the week we can beat them, and it'll be a lot of fun.
You expect CJ Leary to be back in your car?
That's his choice. I think he's obviously got a full-time ride now in a midget, which is really cool to see. You know, when I met CJ, he was driving his own sprint car, his own Silver Crown car, not driving for anybody else, and now he's got a full-time sprint car ride, a full-time Silver Crown ride, and a full-time midget ride. So really happy for him on that, and you know, that's kind of the goal, right, is to help somebody along. So selfishly, I want him back in the car for sure. I think that's up to him and his midget car owner. You know, I don't know what their deal is or isn't, so I'd love to have him back. I think he's a heck of a wheelman, but we'll wait and see.
There's also Turkey Night. You were there last year, and now they've got that huge $100,000 deal at Oak Grove. Can you see yourself doing the California swing?
That was the most stressful, hard thing ever. I'm not going back to California. It's too far out there. It costs too much money to get the stuff out there. This year we were in Homestead when the truck had to leave to go out there, so that was a pain in the butt. And then, man, Ventura just sandblast stuff. That place is so sandy. All those racetracks out there are pretty rough on stuff. So I think I'm going to stick to the indoor shows this year. I think everything that they're doing on the West Coast Swing is really cool. The amount of races that there is now and the amount of money that you can come home with is really cool for sure. But for me, it's just easier to kind of try to stick with one thing. These new cars, I wouldn't be able to get enough weight on them to go USAC racing anyway. So not really something I'm looking to do, but definitely is a cool swing.
And finally, your expectations at Kansas this weekend. You finished second at two very different racetracks. What do you think you can kind of keep it going at least, you know, top 10, top 5?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us is to find consistency and keep running like this. But it sure would be nice to talk to you in Victory Lane on Saturday night.
I hope we get that opportunity, because then you won't have to worry about the All-Star vote.
Exactly. I'm not Kelsey's mad at me for this, but don't vote for me, because I'm just going to try to win my way in.
We hope that happens for you, Alex. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.